Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the kinematics of fluids, and the topic for today is the continuity equation which we are going to derive. Alright. So before getting into the continuity equation, we will discuss two different approaches of studying fluids. So first is the control system approach, and second is the control volume approach. So either we can treat a fluid flow problem as a control system, or either we can treat it as a control volume. Both approaches can be used to solve fluid flow problems, but it depends upon problem to problem which approach, which method to apply. So basically control system approach means that you have suppose you have a system. I'll just give you an example. Let us say this is a cylinder and we have a piston. So there is some fluid in this cylinder. Alright, now the mass of the fluid inside this cylinder, which is the mass of the fluid which is bounded by this cylinder and piston, is fixed. Alright, so mass here is constant. Alright, now the cylinder boundary becomes this is the boundary of the cylinder. This is known as the boundary. Alright, now when we study this problem, then what we are considering fixed mass. Here the mass is fixed, so mass inflow is not present. Alright, so mass inflow or even outflow. Alright, so mass does not come in or come out of this system. However, energy can come in and out of the system. So you can, for example, you can heat the cylinder, you can increase the temperature of the fluid also. So energy transfer is possible in this case. So energy inflow and outflow is possible. Alright, so this type of method in which we treat a fluid system using with a controlled fixed mass is called as a control system. This is also called as a closed system or simply system. Alright, so these are the two different names of this approach. So if you want to summarize what is this control mass system, so when you have a system, it will have fixed amount of mass. The mass inflow and outflow is not present. This is the boundary of the system. So from the boundary, mass cannot go in or go out or come inside the system, but energy can go inside and go out of the system. So this is all about a control system or simply system, closed system. Alright. However, in all the fluid flow problems, applying this approach is difficult. One advantage of using this approach is there is one very big advantage, because since mass is fixed, the Newton's laws of motion can be directly applied to the fluid flow problem. We don't have to do any adjustments when we want to apply the Newton's laws of motion. But this approach is quite difficult to study some kind of problems. For example, I'll discuss one type of example. Let us say we have a flow through pipe. Now in this pipe flow, if you want to study this pipe flow, if you use this approach, it can be very difficult, because then what we'll have to do, we'll have to fix a particular mass and just study the motion of that mass, just study the forces on that mass, how the mass is behaving, the volume is changing, it is increasing, decreasing, all those changes we will have to track. However, but there is another way of doing it. If you want to study the pi flow, what you can do, you can fix a volume. Alright, you can just fix a volume where you can take measurements. For example, you can measure let us say pressure, you can measure let us say average velocity. These quantities you can measure. So for that, what you can do, you can fix a particular volume. Okay, so I am fixing this amount of volume. Okay, now this volume is fixed. Okay, this volume is fixed. These will become the control surfaces. This is one control surface, this is another control surface. Again, this is one control surface. So I'll call this 1, 1 and 2, 2. So 1, 1 will become a control surface, 2, 2 will become a control surface. Alright. So if you look into if you look at the cross sectional view, what you will get, something like this. So this is that control volume. So this is 1, 1, this is 2, 2. Alright. So this becomes your control volume. Okay, and this is your control surface at 1. This is again your control surface at 2. Okay, so if flow is taking place from left to right, we have a flow, a discharge taking place from left to right. Now what is happening here, this is called as a control volume approach, in which we fix a particular volume and study the changes occurring in that volume. Okay, now here one property of control volume is that mass inflow and outflow is possible. Now see, here through this pipe boundary, there is no mass going out or coming inside. However, this surface 1, 1 and 2, 2, we are getting a mass inflow at 1, 1 and mass outflow at 2, 2. So here the mass is leaving the control volume, here the mass is coming inside the control volume. So mass flux is possible through control surfaces in control volume approach. Okay, and energy can also come in and go out through this control volume. So this is another way of doing it. So if you have a control volume approach, so in a control volume approach, this is the boundary, suppose, or we call it as a control surfaces more specifically. Or boundary. Okay, so mass can come in and go out. Okay, then energy can also come in and go out. Okay, so this is the control volume approach, because it makes, why we use this approach, because our measurements make it easier to study the motion of fluids, since our measurements are mostly Eulerian measurements, right? Eulerian measurements we have discussed earlier, that you will let us say you will measure, continuously keep on measuring the velocity at this point. Okay, so you will get maybe an average velocity at this point V1. You might get an average velocity at V2, because you will install your velocimeter at V1, you will install your velocimeter at V2. So you can take measurements at fixed particular locations, and when you have such kind of measurements, this control volume approach is more suitable to solve the fluid flow problem. So you can then calculate what is the energy loss, you can calculate what is the pressure drop across this control volume, etc. So these are the two ways in which we study the fluid mechanics problems. Mostly we will deal with the control volume approach for our study. Now using this control volume approach, I will try to derive an expression for the continuity equation. Alright, so we will look at the continuity equation. We will use that control volume approach to find the continuity equation. All right. So how we will apply this continuity equation to a fluid flow? Let's consider a flow field. All right. Flow is taking place in all three directions, and I am considering, let us say, so these are the three axes, x, y and z. Cartesian coordinates, Cartesian space I am considering. This is the origin. Okay. Now let the velocity of the flow in x direction be u, in y direction be v, and in z direction let it be w. Okay. So these are the velocities in x, y and z directions. Flow is taking place. Okay. We have divided the flow field, or we are studying the flow field in x, y and z directions. Okay, now consider one fluid element in this flow field. Okay, so let us say this is a fluid element. Okay, the size of this element is, let us say, in x direction it is dx. In y direction it is dy, and in z direction it is dz. Okay, so these are the sizes of this element. Now this is our control volume. Okay, so this is our CV, or control volume. We are going to analyze this control volume and try to find out the continuity equation. All right. Now before finding the continuity equation, we will just discuss the analogy of conservation of mass. When we apply the conservation of mass to control volume, what is the equation of inflow and outflow? Okay, so let us say you have a tank. Before going into this continuity equation, we will discuss the basic ideology what we are going to apply here. Okay, so let us say there is a tank. Okay, now we have two pipes to this tank. From one pipe we are getting inflow, from one pipe we have an outflow. So from this pipe we are getting a flow, from this pipe the flow is going out. Okay, inflow and outflow. Okay, inflow and outflow. Now see, the tank, let us say the tank is our control volume. This is our control volume. Okay, and let's say there is some particular storage of this tank. For example, let us say 100 liters. Suppose you can just assume that the storage of the tank is 100 liters. 100 liters of volume of fluid is available in this tank. Okay, now let us say the inflow is coming at 10 liters per second. Okay, and outflow is 12 liters per second. Okay, now so what is happening? 10 liters fluid is coming in 1 second, 12 liters of fluid is leaving in 1 second. So what is happening to the storage of the tank? The storage should decrease or increase. Of course, if outflow is more and inflow is less, your storage should decrease. So in 1 second, what is happening? In unit time, what is happening? See, according to conservation of mass, the mass flow rate is fixed. So whatever mass is coming, it has to be conserved. Okay, so according to that, in unit time, what should happen? Outflow minus inflow will be equal to, in unit time, outflow minus inflow will be equal to net decrease in storage. Okay, so storage of the control volume will decrease. The amount of fluid in this control volume will decrease. By how much amount? Outflow minus inflow. See, in 1 second the storage will become 98 liters. Okay, because 12 liters has gone outside, 10 liters has come inside. So we will apply this analogy to our flow field here. Okay, and let us see what equation we get. This we have got by applying the conservation of mass principle. We will apply the same conservation of mass principle here and try to get the continuity equation. Okay. Now, in order to derive this continuity equation, what we need mass inflow, we need mass outflow, and we need the decrease in storage. Alright, so we need three things here. So, first we will try to find out the mass inflows. Okay, now let's have a look at this control volume. Now, this is an element of fluid which we have considered as a control volume. Now, it has several surfaces. Those surfaces are the control surfaces, and fluid is coming inside from these surfaces and fluid is leaving outside from the control surfaces. Now, we will only focus first on the x direction. What is happening in the x direction? Okay, so in x direction, what are the control surfaces? Let us say flow is taking place from along the positive x direction. Okay, so now this becomes our control surface in x direction, from where fluid is coming inside. So fluid is coming inside from this surface and leaving from this surface. Okay, now let's try to write the mass inflow in x direction. So mass inflow in x direction. So what will be that? Mass inflow in x direction. See, what is the velocity? U. And what is the area? Area of this control surface? It is dz and into dy. So this is dz and this is dy. So your mass inflow will be rho into u into dy into dz. Okay. How is this? See, what is this u into dy dz? Dy dz is nothing but the area of the cross section. Okay, it is the area of the cross section, this area. Okay, it is the area of the cross section. Velocity multiplied by area will give you the volume flow rate. Okay, so this is giving you the discharge. Velocity into area, V into A. We saw that in the last lecture. And when we multiply it by the mass density, we are getting the mass flow rate. So in this way, we can write the amount of mass flowing in x direction. Okay, this is the mass inflow rate in the x direction. Basically, it is the inflow rate. Okay, you can add rate. Okay. Now, what is the mass outflow rate? Now, mass is flowing like this. Flow is taking place from left to right, and mass is leaving from this control surface. If we talk about only in the x direction, so mass outflow rate in x direction now I'll just use inflow. You can just assume that it is rate. So mass outflow in x direction will be equal to C. Now I am assuming that outflow is more than inflow, like in the example we have talked earlier in the analogy. You can assume the opposite way also, that outflow is less than inflow. Anyways, you will get the same result at the end. So for now, for the timing, I am assuming that outflow is more than inflow. Okay, so what will be the outflow? It will be the inflow this is the mass inflow rate plus now rate of change of this inflow along the x direction. Now the flow has traveled from this point to this point along through the length dx, and in this length dx it is changing. Okay, so it is changing with respect to x. So therefore it will be del x of rho u dy dz into dx. Okay, because del x is the rate of change of this inflow with respect to x direction, and how much length it is going to cover dx. So we will multiply this gradient by this dx. So we are getting the total rate of change of inflow in over the dx length. Okay, so therefore This is also equal to rho u dy dz plus, now what is this dy dx dy dz is nothing but the volume of the control volume. What is the volume of control volume? It will be dx into dy into dz. So this is the nothing but the volume. So you can write del x of rho u into dv. Now since volume is fixed, it is a constant. For control volume approach, volume remains constant. So dv becomes a constant. It can come outside the differential operator. So this is your equation number 1. Now similarly, we will find out mass inflow in y direction. What will be that? So mass inflow is y direction. Let us consider, let us say that mass is entering from this control surface along the y direction. This is the control surface, and it is leaving through this control surface, okay, along y. Okay, so along y, what is the area of flow? It is dx into dz, and what is the velocity? V. So your mass inflow will become rho v dx. What is that? Dx into dz, because since we have to find the area of this particular section, dx into dz. Okay, now mass outflow. In y direction will be equal to, again, rho v dx dz plus rate of change of this inflow in y direction along the y direction, rate of change of this inflow with respect to y. Okay, so it will be del y. Okay, it will be, sorry, del y, rate of change with respect to y. So it will be del y of rho v dx dz. This is the gradient rate of change, and for how much length we have to find out, it is dy. So multiply it by dy. Again this dx dy dz will become the control volume of the control volume. So that is rho v dx dz plus del y of rho v into dv. This is your equation number 2. Okay. Similarly in z direction, now you can easily guess what will be the mass inflow and outflow. In z direction, what is the control surface? See, this is the control surface. Now I will not draw that, otherwise it will be quite cluttered. So this surface, okay, this is the control surface in the z direction. Okay, flow is passing like this, okay, through these control surfaces. So this particular surface and this particular surface becomes the control surface. So what is the area of the surface? Dx into dy. Okay, dx into dy. So mass inflow in z direction will be rho, it will be rho w, because velocity in z direction is w. So rho w dx dy. Okay, dx dy. Okay, this is the surface. So rho w dx dy is the mass inflow rate, and mass outflow rate is so it will be rho w dx dy plus del now z, because rate of change of this this mass flow rate with respect to z direction. So rho w dx dy, and for how much distance? For a distance dz. So multiply it by dz. Again this dx dy dz can be written as dv. So this is your equation number 3. So we have got all the mass inflow and outflow rates now. Okay. So I know how much mass is coming from, how much mass is coming in x direction, y direction and z direction, all the 3 directions. Okay. So now you can easily find out what is the total outflow minus total inflow rate. Okay. So what is the net outflow or outflow minus inflow. And what should be our outflow minus inflow? Okay, so in this control volume, outflow minus inflow should be decrease in the storage of the control volume. Okay, so storage of the control volume is what? dV, and decrease of that storage with respect to time how we can write? So we can write this outflow minus inflow as net decrease in storage. Okay, inflow minus outflow equal to net decrease in storage. We are just applying this analogy now, and using this equation we'll get the final result. So what is outflow minus inflow? So just add up all the outflows. Okay, so what is the outflow in x direction? We have rho u dy dz plus del x of rho u into dv. Okay, then outflow in y direction is, in y direction we have rho v, it is dx dz plus del y of rho v into dv. Okay, and what is the outflow in z direction? It is rho w dx dy plus del z of rho w into dv. Okay, so this is your total outflow, and what will be, and we have to subtract the inflow. So without writing you can clearly see what is the inflow. We just have to subtract this inflow in x direction, inflow in y direction, and inflow in z direction. So what we will get, if we subtract this plus this plus this, we just have to subtract, so this will get cancelled. This is the inflow in x direction, this is the inflow in y direction, this is the inflow in z direction. So this will get cancelled, this will get cancelled. So ultimately what we are getting, outflow minus inflow is equal to, outflow minus inflow we are getting del x of rho u plus del y of rho v plus del z of rho w into, I will take the dv common, into dv. Okay, is the volume, because since volume it's a constant. Okay, so I can take it outside. Okay, so this is your complete outflow minus inflow, and according to our analogy this should be equal to what? It should be equal to net decrease in the storage of this control volume. So what is the net storage? Firstly we'll see what is the net storage. So net storage of control volume. So it is volume into mass density. So mass density rho into what is the volume? dV. Okay, rho into dV is the total net storage. Now net decrease in storage, this, now we know outflow is more than inflow. We have assumed that outflow is more than inflow, so storage should go on decreasing. Okay, so storage will decrease, so net decrease in storage, it will be equal to del t of rho into dV. Okay, now net decrease in storage means it is reducing, the volume is reducing, so I will just put this minus sign. Okay, this is your equation number 4. Okay, now see, Now according to our conservation of mass, what should happen? This outflow minus inflow should be equal to net decrease in storage. So just equate this, outflow minus inflow should be equal to net decrease in storage. So I have already written that. I'll just get the final equation. It will be del x of rho u plus del y of rho v plus del z of rho w is equal to minus del t of rho into dv. Okay. So this is our equation which we are getting. Now we can simplify this further since this dv is remaining. Now this volume is constant, so it can be cancelled. So it will go. So what we are getting, I will bring this term on the left hand side. So we are getting del rho by del t plus del x of rho u plus del y of rho v plus del z of rho w equal to 0. So this is your continuity equation. Okay, so this is the final form of continuity equation which we got just by applying the analogy of conservation of mass principle to the control volume of a fluid. Okay, we considered an element of fluid and we considered the Cartesian coordinate. So in this way we can get this. Now we can further simplify. See, if your flow is, let us say, we can further simplify this for different situations. So for steady flow, what will happen for steady flow? For steady flow, del rho by del t will become 0 because steady flow is what? When the flow properties does not change with respect to time. So del rho by del t will become 0. There will be no rate of change of rho with respect to time. So this term will go and the equation will be simplified to del x of rho u plus del y of rho v plus del z of rho w is equal to 0. So this equation can be used for steady flows, and if the flow is again incompressible, again if the flow is then we know that when the flow is incompressible, the rho is constant. Okay, it is constant with space and time both. So that is a incompressible flow. So rho will become constant, it will come outside and then it will go here, it will become 0. So equation can be again simplified to del u by del x plus del v by del y plus del w by del z equal to 0. So this is again a simplified form of the continuity equation. So these are the various forms of continuity equation which we are going to use in the future. As per the problem, we have to apply this equation. Okay, all right.